should be revoked or not. First of all, we have to understand why reservation system was introduced in our country. Our country is following a caste system from very beginning. We in India we have been following this caste system on the basis of our the caste system was divided on the basis of our working style. That means people of higher people who used to fight were warrior were given higher caste, and people working in labor class were given lower caste. So the people there were restrictions on the people who belong to lower caste. So due to which people were not allowed to perform all the activities, like the people from lower backward classes were restricted to visit temples. They were not authorized to drink pure water. In fact, I was reading some article about breast taxes. I'm not using proper word, but that was like for women in Maharashtra. They they have to give the tax for to cover upper part, so that mostly for women of lower category. Okay, so this was the inequality our country were facing. So the idea was to give the all the human at the same level. This reservation system was introduced in I guess 1832 or 33. I'm not sure. William Hunter was the person who introduced the concept caste-based reservation, who introduced in front of this entire world, so that they can we can live equally, and we can perform all the activity equally. But in India, in 1933, the 1933 Act was introduced, under which, other than Hindu, all the persons were authorized to give the votes directly to the election. But after the negotiation of Ambedkar and Mr. Ambedkar and Mr. Gandhi, Hindus were also allowed to cast their vote during the election. After the independence, SC category and ST categories were also authorized for reservation system. But in 1992, Mandal Commission was held, under which OBC were also introduced, in which 27% of seats were reserved in job sector. From there, the main concept was to get the equality. The people who belong to lower caste were not, they were not given proper access to all the facilities, like even in the school system, even in our culture, like mandir system or temple system, and other access to directly people cannot, like I also remember, like when I was in my nanny's there, my grandmother's home, she used to she don't allow to enter people from SC ST caste directly to home. No, she said, stop there. I'll give you water and anything. Stand outside the door. I remember that thing. So that concept was to that erase that line between higher caste and lower caste. The idea was to give adequate facility to all human beings, so that we can calculate on basis of skills and performance, not on the basis of caste. Okay. Now coming to the point why whether it should be revoked or not. Now what I think is India is still facing caste system all around the all around the corner, mostly in part of northern India, like in Bihar and UP. We follow caste system at the top right now. Even although we follow we have written constitution where we don't agree caste system, but still on ground there is caste system, and we have seen people asking for the vote during election. Give they get the golden opportunity to grab their vote on the basis of caste. Whether if we see the manifesto, there is a proper mention that will provide reservations to lower OBC people, SC people, and we will provide job opportunity to lower caste people. So there is something which is to be rectified. that's why I think there should be some chances, and there should be some proper manner, proper rule for the reservation. Like we have like 50% quota for all the SC, ST, and economically weak section, but no, it's not be like misused. Like we have case in IS category that we in the recent news, like she has used that the loophole and enter in the prestigious job. So we should there's government should implement some proper counter to counter this type of I'm not aware of that word. So, there should be some reservation for the people who are not easily who don't get the chance proper, and of course they are not we are in village we don't have that proper facility, and people from SC and ST category they don't. I have seen people kids are not going to school. If they go, they don't have the opportunity to buy the books. So, of course, government are giving that money and other thing for their enhancement, but still there are some still there are some corner where it needs to be rectified, which is required. So yeah, reservations should be there, but in limited amount. So, and of course there should be some counter measure therapy to whoever try to cheat
Okay,
the system can be punished properly.
when you talk about reservation policies, there
Sure.
is one of the policies that is called reservation for women on buses and trains. Some seats are booked for the women, you know very well. So do you feel that that system should be demolished or should be revoked?
That is not mandatory as per our law. It is not mandatory. It is not to be followed properly. It is up to the state government. It is not
Excuse me.
centrally like forcefully uh, like you have to do this anyway. It is not mandatory.
Right.
It is up to the state government, and it is of course it was introduced because there is a line जो है ही इक्वल उनको इक्वल लाने के लिए करना पड़ेगा. So that is the main theme behind this reservation system for even like if no, kid 7 years 7 or 8 year kid hit you, don't you think if you hit him back won't be like equal thing? You have to think about it. Whether a kid is hitting you and you hitting him back is not going to be equal at all. That is the thing. If a woman taking a seat and there is 90% of man standing around her, and do you think she will grab that seat? Because of course men are muscularly stronger than women. That was the main reason to reserve the seat, whether in train or metro or any public area,
Right.
so that that thing can be stopped proper, and women can proper do deal with this type of circumstances.
All right. So what's your conclusion? Conclude your points. Conclude your topic.
In the end, I would like to conclude that, of course, there should be some amount of reservation for kids, for the women, and for the old age person, so that they can get the proper opportunity to deal the things which we youngsters do. Like for example, we take when we stand in a sprint, 100-meter sprint, even that 8 track is divided in that way. The first person is standing in the last, and the last person is standing in the first. But the distance is properly measured, and each one of them has to cover equal distance. That is the main equality. Starting phase is not. We see if we take the initial phase, it will like first one person standing in the first phase and the last person both have
Excuse me.
there is a vast distance which has to cover, which is unequal. But if we get deeper, we'll understand that distance has to be covered properly, and that is equal. The chance is equal. That is like yeah, because starting that distance is the reservation
Right.
for everything. That is what I'm saying. Yeah, there should be some reservation for different age group or different gender and different caste, along with some restrictions.